and welcome back, and I hope you are all doing very well today. If you're new to this channel, I'm Dan, and I will hopefully inspire you to escape a sedentary lifestyle with my YouTube videos. Today I'm going to be talking about my mountain bike, one that I previously bought, which is the Vitus Sentier 27 VR. If you watched that video, I talked about how I wanted to upgrade the wheels and add some foam inserts and make them tubeless. So today we're going to install some inserts and talk about what ones I went with. But before we start with today's episode, I'd kindly like to ask you to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel, as it really helps and I very much appreciate it. So if you watched my Sentier VR video, I talked about how I wanted to install cush cores and make the tires tubeless. I was overwhelmed with all the feedback that I got from you guys, what I should do. People told me not to cut my bars, keep them wide as well. And I got some really great tips from you all about what inserts to go with. There's very different options on the market that are a lot cheaper than the cush cores, and I'm glad I listened to you. Why I want to add inserts is because I want to protect the rims. For some reason it's bugging my mind. I'm scared that I'm going to dent them or crack them. So that brings me on to what insert I actually got, and it is actually these Tannus Armour. I know this is going to be a bit controversial. I made up my mind I wanted to go with these ones instead of running a tubeless setup, and I'm going to go into detail why I went for that. And that's the great thing with mountain biking. You can chop and change what you want. If say later on down the line I want to try tubeless and run those, I can. I've got that option to do so. For me, this is an easier option, cheaper by far. These inserts were only £24 I found them online for, so I thought that was a pretty good deal. So I actually got two of them, one for the front, one for the back. All right, so now I'm going to go over some reasons why I went with the inserts that still run a tube rather than going tubeless. And that is, it has a very robust puncture protection. With tubeless tires, you can still get punctures, and especially if you're on a long trail, people were still carrying inner tubes with them. So if you did get a big cut in the tires, it meant that you can still enjoy the day by just chucking an inner tube in. But with this, it means that if I was running an insert on tubeless, it meant that I didn't have to take out the insert, then put the inner tube in, deal with all the messy sealant everywhere. For me, this is just ease of use and practical for me. Jumping down ledges. I've even hit curbs here, and also rode over lots of glass because it is covered in the stuff around here, and they've held up pretty well. There's no, I felt secure in them. I was trying to dent them on this curb here, and they held up really well. Those common snake bite inner tube flats that you get. Yeah, really sturdy. Like tubeless, you can run lower pressures with these, which will give you more grip on the trails, but because of its shape and form, I guess because it goes around the tire, it will give you a lot of rigidness in the corners, giving you better stability there. Another one is increased comfort. That was a big thing when it came to inserts. They tend to deaden the vibrations when you're going over very rough terrain. So that meant that you wouldn't get so much arm pump. If your arms are constantly shaking like that, your muscles are going to fatigue very quickly. It makes it such a smooth ride. I was just cruising along down to here, hitting potholes, and even with the saddle on, it kind of cushions it a little bit. So in terms of ride, it makes it a lot more comfortable. Fast rolling, that's something I'm going to test out in this video. Do I notice anything? I probably won't at all. Ease of installation, another one that I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to show you how I'm going to install it. So we're in my bike garage, well, my front room, because I don't have a place like that because I live in a flat. Because the tires run on the Vitus are 27.5 by 2.6. So they're quite wide tires. So I had to get these ones which are 2.6 to 3.0, so they can fit up to a, don't do it, don't do it. I'm watching you. Look at it. It's doing it again. I'm gonna put it in my pocket. They can go up to a tire that's 3.0 wide. When you buy them, it gives you the type of inner tube you need. It told me I needed a 1.95 or 1.9 to a 2.3. I couldn't actually find that, so I managed to find these Hutchinson inner tubes, which are 1.70 by 2.35. So hopefully they'll be fine. So this was the existing inner tube inside the tire. As you can see, it's a lot fatter than one I've got to go with the insert. And I weighed them both, and this is pretty much half the weight of this one. So insert the tire insert first, then put the inner tube in, then close it all up. Sounds easy. I reckon this is going to be really hard to do. These tires were quite stiff to get off anyway. So yeah, we're going to have some fun with this. With the smaller inserts, so from 1.9 up to 2.5, if you go low, I think you have to cut them. These ones apparently you don't have to cut. But yeah, I think that's the first side done. On Tannus's instructional video, they do say you can put some talcum powder inside. I don't have any, and I'm not going to buy some just for the purpose, so hopefully it doesn't make it too complex. Now let's tuck this inner tube in. Inner tube's in. So far, so good, but this is always the hardest part of putting on a wheel, is getting this side in, especially with this added bit. Oh, I'm not really looking forward to it. All right, so I think I'm gonna tuck the insert in first, get that in, and then go with the tire. We're in with the insert. So yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Grab one handful there, then grab another one, and then I think now it should start going on. Ah, man. It's just like do one side and it comes up. We're in. Woo! The wire of the tire is sticking to the tape, so it's not really pushing up against the wall, the rim wall. And yeah, and it's causing this kind of uneven blowout when you inflate the tires. What I ended up having to do was try and push the pressure to push the tires out on the sidewalls. So yeah, I'm gonna crack on and do the back wheel. So it's another day, but I finally managed to get these wheels on. I literally saw red and the Hulk was about to come out, but luckily my partner came home and she saw how frustrated I was getting. Some expletives were said. Luckily nothing was broken, but she kindly helped me put it on. Yeah, they're not really easy to install. So I found that the other side of the wheel, the tire wall and the bead would move into the center, and that, because there's like a little divot in the rim, it was kind of getting stuck in there. So when I was trying to push the tire back on, you're kind of only having half of the tire on there. So it was really tough to get on. Maybe some talcum powder might have moved it along. I don't know, maybe if I try it again next time, which I really do not want to do, then maybe talcum powder is a good shout. Yeah, not an easy install. If you've got any suggestions to make it easier, please do let me know in the comments below. And then also that peace of mind of being able to run a flat tire, get to your car or wherever you need to go to fix it, and go back on the trail and start riding again. And I'm gonna let all the air out of the tires now. I've only got a little way to ride home. See if I can get home on these flats. Oh wow, it's hard to pedal. That flat there. Yeah, it's very hard to pedal home, but I'm managing, so it doesn't feel too bad. I'm probably going to stop because it's really painful on the legs. Let's talk over some of the cons that might put people off this. Is the weight. Inserts in general, I was looking at the Cush Core, they weigh about 250 grams. Tannus do their own inserts for tubeless tires, which I was recommended, and they weigh 150 grams, so a lot lighter. The inserts weigh 331 grams. I don't know if my scales are correct. You know, I'm not a professional rider who needs to really cut down on weight to get those faster times. You know, I'm just doing it for enjoyment, and I want my bike to last longer. So that's why I went with this. Plus I wanted that zero maintenance. So the biggest reason why I went with the tube inserts was I watched a video by Ben Deacons. He reviewed this himself and he actually took them on the Mega Avalanche. If you watch his video, I'll put a link in the description below so you can check it out because he is a professional bike rider. He literally went through the whole run without getting a puncture, and as he was going along, he could see other people getting punctures on their tubeless setups. And this pretty much was bomb-proof the whole way down. So I thought if that's good enough for Ben, then that's good enough for Dan. Oi, oi! I'm pretty impressed with the Tannus inserts. Like I said, I was dropping off ledges, trying to hit curbs really hard, and running downstairs, and they held up. I even ran them on flats. Pretty hard to ride, but managed to do so, and I didn't feel like the rims were hitting the floor, which was quite nice. Again, if you want something to really protect your inner tubes and really stop you from getting flats, then these Tannus inserts are the must. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I'd very much appreciate it and it really helps. Let me know in the comments below, do you run inserts? Would you consider getting the Tannus insert armors, or are you all about weight, going tubeless? And if you do need inserts, get the light ones. It'd be interesting to know and have a discussion in the comments below. But yeah, hope you're all staying safe, staying positive, having fun, and I shall see you in the next one.